Hey guys, what's going on today? Welcome back to another Elestrals reaction, Moonrise reaction, Moonrise reveal reaction video. Got me a couple of tries, but I did it. So, we have, it says 4 new lunar Elestrals, but I just spoiled the little bit of the intro. He said 5, so I'm not entirely certain. Night Venom, Ectoplasm are here. Let's get this one going.
I'm revealing 5 new lunar cards today as we count down every day until Moonrise pre-orders open on November 15th.
Let's go.
First up, a brand new lunar Elestral called Hypnosum. Hypnosum is a 1 attack and 1 defense Elestral that has a super cool effect. When this Hypnosum is destroyed, you can special cast it from your underworld in attack position Misenchanted.
Really?
That means when it goes down to battle or rune destruction from your field, you can bring it back with a different element. So that gives you...
That's interesting because we've never seen a card say Misenchanted in its text yet. I will say, I think this card is bad. I think this is very, very bad. But that being said, there is Ectoplasm is obviously going to be the ascension. If we see what Ectoplasm does, maybe I'll change my mood. But let's see.
Gives you some really cool potential for Ascension decks down the road. Keep an eye on Hypnosum. And this little guy does have an Ascension. It ascends into Ectoplasm, which is a card that you're not going to see its full potential today, but you will throughout the rest of the Moonrise reveals. This is a 3 attacker with 3 defense and 2 lunar. When this Ectoplasm is sent from your hand or deck to the underworld, you can expend a lunar spirit in order to special cast it from your underworld with 2 lunar spirits. The gears might be turning in your head, but this can turbo you into some of the strongest cards in the game. Farrageist, I'm looking at you. I think there's a lot of really cool synergy that you're gonna see get enlightened over the course of these next 31 days. And I really think Ectoplasm is gonna shine in the moonlight of all of these awesome lunar Elestrals. And I've got 2 more for you, but
hang on.
Shine in the moonlight.
Back up. Okay, so I'm a little confused real quick. So Ectoplasm, I will say, this is fine. This is actually not terrible. We don't really know exactly how we're sending this from hand or deck to grave. You could mill it with like Avalanche. There might be a card that mills. There might be a miller. We obviously have, he did say, we haven't seen its full potential. There is going to be a card that we haven't seen that might make this crazy. But if you are able to actually proc this effect, you special cast it, you get a 2 guy, and then you can just immediately normal cast a 3-drop like right away. That one has potential. Now I also want to point out the reason why I don't think Hypnosum is good is simply because this card, to me, just seems like a worse version of, what's it freaking called? Oh my god. The Fire Phoenix from base set. What's it called? To be honest, I've actually completely forgot. Let me quickly look it up. It's been so long since I read that card, I've completely forgotten what it does, I'll be honest. Ampherix. Okay, Ampherix is when it's destroyed in battle or by an opponent's card effect, expend fire. If you do during this turn's end phase, you can special cast it from your underworld. Yeah, so basically comparing these two, both of them are basically when it's destroyed by anything. Hypnosum doesn't specifically say by battle or by card effect. Realistically, those are the only 2 ways you actually are destroying it. You special cast it from your underworld in attack position Misenchanted, whereas Ampherix does it during the end phase. The difference between them is that Ampherix forces you to expend 1. This doesn't. The reason, though, I don't think this card's good is because, okay, I said a little bit of a worse Ampherix. It really isn't, because it's basically the reason why I'm tempted to say Ampherix is better than this is that Ampherix, if it's destroyed, you don't just special cast it immediately and potentially make it so that your opponent has a second Elestral that they can then attack into, dealing with it forever, because that's exactly what's going to happen with the Hypnosum. The Hypnosum's going to come out, your opponent's going to destroy it, you're going to special cast it from your underworld, like water or something, and then they're going to attack over it again, and since it's Misenchanted, it won't get its effect. So if they just have 2 guys, this card's useless. Whereas in Ampherix, at the very end of the day, it forces you to set up a little bit, But if the Inferics dies, you activate its effect, expend 1, special cast it during the end phase, and then your opponent can't deal with it because it's the end phase, not the battle phase anymore. So then you have free reign to ascend over it. That's why I feel like the Inferics is just better than this. This just seems bad. Like, I don't see why this is good. And to be fair, we don't know what this card is. We don't know what this is. Dan said it in terms of it being a really good boon to Ectoplasm instead. So, but I'm having a hard time seeing how it. I'm having a very, very hard time seeing how Hypnosm's good. I'm really struggling to see how this card could potentially be good. I see the potential for Ectoplasm. I don't see the potential for Hypnosm. I really don't. Ectoplasm certainly has a lot of potential, I will say. But let's move on.
To shine in the moonlight of all of these awesome lunar Elestrals, and I've got 2 more for you, but I've got to tell you that if you back our Elestrals Clash Kickstarter right,
I do actually real quick want to say one other thing though. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I do want to mention one thing about the Ectoplasm. This is expensive. This is incredibly expensive. You have to, first of all, activate a card that will send it from your hand or deck to the underworld. So, for example, let's say you do this with a Golden Apple, for example. You go Golden Apple. Golden Apple is going to cost you 1. You discard the Ectoplasm in order to do that whole thing to your opponent. You activate the effect of the Ectoplasm, expending 1, so you've now expend 2. You special cast it, and you have to spend an additional 2 lunar. It has to be lunar. So you are spending 3 lunar plus 1 of any in order to just get a 2 guy out. And in order to get the 3 guy out, you'd have to expend 1 additional one. So you're paying 5 to get a 3 drop out. It's expensive, but it has potential, is what I'm trying to say.
And I've got 2 more for you, but I've got to tell you that if you back our Elestrals Clash Kickstarter right now, over $25, you get the Kickstarter promo pack with an exclusive set of Stellar Rares and Full Arts and much, much more. And you can actually get a Stellar Ectoplasm in that awesome promo pack. So do not miss out.
This was the card that I intentionally did not read yesterday. I was like, no, I'm not reading this. I'm waiting until today in order to actually read it. That's exactly what happened.
It's a card
this was revealed yesterday.
In your collection. Next up, this Celestra was teased in one of our Daybreak arts, and that is Toxiri. Yes, Toxiri.
Oh,
and Toxic Swarm actually getting
Toxiri, okay. It wasn't the Pharaoh Guy Storm.
Let's another Nexus form. This time going lunar with the 2 attack and 4 defense, the more defensive of the 3 Nexus forms. When you cast this Toxiri, you can search your deck for a Dense Fog and add it to your hand. So now Dense Fog is searchable, a card that has an opportunity to do a lot of really cool things in the metagame by shutting down effects, especially those Nexus users. However, with the influx of new lunar Elestrals, we'll have to see how much play Dense Fog gets, but Toxiri has a very cool second effect that says suppressed Elestrals get -2 attack and -2 defense, and that pairs incredibly well with the Lunar Divine Artemis. So look to combo up your Artemis and your Toxiri when Moonrise.
I'm struggling to place this one. Oh, is that good or is that mid? It's not bad. I can tell that right now. It's either good or mid, and I don't know which. So here's the reasons why I think it could be good is that Toxiri is a card that can very easily win you combat. Not by itself, but it can pair. It can help you pair if you pair something with it, and you just go ahead and suppress it with the Artemis. The Artemis is going to now give them -2/-2. It's not the same as like Zeus, but not only are they have -2/-2, they're also suppressed. So, and to be fair, that is a 2-card combo, so that isn't like the best thing in the world. But it can help you win combat, which I think is actually pretty interesting. The fact that it searches Dense Fog, I'll be honest, I don't really care. I don't care that it can search Dense Fog. It's not bad, certainly. Dense Fog is a good counter rune. But in set 4, I struggle to see if Dense Fog will see play, because there's going to be so many more. There's going to be so many more lunar cards in the game that it's hard to really place whether or not Dense Fog is like an actually good card or not. So I don't really care about that effect. I'm mostly looking at the suppression effect of having the -2/-2, and I'm still oh god, I don't know. I want to say it's mid. I want to say it's mid. Oh. The reason why I'm leaning toward mid and not good or busted or anything like that is that it's a card that in order for you to get value, you need another card to suppress it. You need another card that can cause suppression. So unlike something like Zeus, which just automatically drops the stats, this will only drop the stats if you pair it with another card. And then in order to get the full benefit, the Toxiri is already very weak. It only has 2 attack, so the chances that you're able to attack over something is very slim. The only way you're attacking over something is if it's a 3 that you have dropped to 1. Which maybe, if you're trying to just basically get over an Astrabbit, you could, technically speaking. But the Toxiri itself is very easy to out, I will say. It's an incredibly easy card to out because it's a 2 attacker, 4 defender. If you just keep it in defense, it's a little harder. But if it's just in defense, it's not doing anything. And in order for you to get the fullest benefit out of it, without having to really worry about the stats or the stats of the Toxiri or anything, you have to then pair it with a third card, which is like another lunar card that potentially has higher stats. So it's hard to place. I really like the attack reduction, the stat reduction effect. I think, though, it requires too many pieces to set up, and I think that's the reason why I'm not a huge fan of it.
Releases. Now, I don't want you to write off Dense Fog just yet because Night Venom is here. The Ascension to Toxiri is none other than Night Venom, a 6 attacker with 6 defense, 2 lunar Elestral, where you can discard a Dense Fog in order to target and destroy up to 2 cards. While you have at least 2 Dense Fog in your underworld, this Night Venom cannot be targeted by opponents' invoke runes. That means
So I think this is bad. I think it's bad, but it's very interesting. The reason why I think it's bad is that it's a very narrow effect. It requires you to specifically be playing Dense Fog. It requires you to specifically have Dense Fog in your hand in order to get its effect off. And yes, you could get 2 Dense Fog in the underworld to get the protection effect, but it's still not immune to counter runes. Granted, it's a 6/6, so it's hard to like get over it. You could technically PTA it. I feel this is a bad card to PTA. Tsunami does nothing because it's a 6/6. Like there is no stat change, so that doesn't do anything. It just prevents it for a turn. And it's harder to out because you can't be targeted by Earthquake or Resting or stuff like that. Which is kind of the reason why I don't immediately want to say it's terrible. But I think if you're having this as your 2-drop in the deck, I don't think it's worth it, to be entirely honest. I think there are much better cards you could have. I think this is just a worse version of Galvenom, if I'm being entirely honest, because Galvenom at the very least doesn't need to discard a specific card. You just expend... Does Galvenom expend 2 Thunder in order to destroy 2 cards? I think that's what it does. And to be fair, this has an additional effect, but I really struggle to see how exactly this card is very good. I don't think this card is very good, but it's an interesting card nonetheless.
Means if you can use those Toxiris and find your 2 Dense Fogs, use them up, whether it be through Night Venom's effect or otherwise. This thing has incredible protection and a very strong stat line at 6/6. Look for Night Venom to do some damage.
I'll be honest, 6/6 is not that big of a stat line, I don't think, anymore. Yes, it's still up there. It's still up there, but we're getting to that point where 2 and 3 drop Elestrals are becoming much more common, to the point where higher attack stats are in the realm of possibility. So I don't think 6/6 is the best thing in the world, but Let's see.
I hope you guys are excited for these brand new Lunar Elestrals coming in Moonrise. And don't forget to check out our awesome Kickstarter campaign for Elestrals Clash going on right now. We post these Moonrise reveals a day early on Kickstarter if you are a backer.
Exactly,
so don't miss out. It's been so hype, man. I cannot wait to show you guys more. So stay tuned for tomorrow. Check the playlist in the description for more Moonrise reveals, and we'll see you then.
Real quick, am I going crazy? Hang on, real quick.
I'm revealing 5 new Lunar cards today as we count down every...
Am I going crazy, or did he only reveal 4? He said 5. We got Hypnosum. We got Ectopossum. Oh, is this what he's talking? Is this what he means? Is this the 5th? Is this the 5th card? Yeah, Toxiri. But what was there another one? I'm not, and no, that was it. Unless either he's talking about the 5th card is this, or the 5th card is this, the unrevealed card, which doesn't make sense because he said I'm revealing that many cards. Also, immediately what I'm noticing, this card is in action. This card is a Elestral. I thought that was a rune initially. That is an actual Elestral. So we'll see. Overall, I think these cards are interesting, but I struggle to really see how a lot of them are good. Ectopossum is the one that I think has the most potential, but it's a very expensive card. So I don't think it's going to be super broken. I'm struggling though. This was not the best, I would say, in terms of how good these cards could be. I still don't know what this card is used for. I don't know what deck wants this still. And again, there's still a ton of cards left that have yet to be revealed. But I'm struggling to see how exactly this is good. I really don't see it. I think Ectopossum is the best card that we've seen today. However, other cards, I think Toxiri, again, I can't really place it. I think it's bad, but I'm struggling. I really am struggling with that one. And I'm also struggling to see how Night Venom's good. I don't think I think a lot of these cards are actually pretty bad. We'll see. We will see. I've been proven wrong before. I will constantly. This never got caught in video, but I said myself I did not think Lava Lith was going to be a good card. Now here it is, the first limited Elestral in the game. So here we are. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Really hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you stop the like button and subscribe for more. Hope to see all you guys in the next video. Goodbye.